Hey, everybody. I keep saying that I'm on vacation, but I keep coming back to y'all. I don't know what it is about this summer, but I just can't stop coming back to, give you guys some new content, some new videos. The last time I had created a new segment called The Advice is Free, and I'm still going to do that. But this is not the same segment of videos. If you all are following me on Instagram, if you're not, you should. You can find me at I'm a Muslim podcast on Instagram, and you would have been able to see that I was in Iceland. That's where we vacationed with my family, and I can't say like enough great things about Iceland. We, as a family, thoroughly enjoyed it. But there are two things in particular that sort of happened over there. And it got me thinking, and which sort of got me to create this new segment of videos. I mean, again, I'll still be doing my video interviews and my segment, The Advice is Free. But this one I call the Muslim perspective. And I know will be thinking, but aren't all your podcasts or your interviews about the Muslim perspective? Which is true, they are. But this one are more first person in the moment perspectives because both of these things happened while I was on my trip to Iceland. And again, this is not to shame any country or a group of people. I think it is to bring to light certain things that Muslims in particular feel very acutely. So, this is the Muslim perspective with me and what happened to me when I was in Iceland. Um, and first of all, first and foremost, Iceland is absolutely gorgeous in the summer. If anybody can go there, please do. Yeah, it's a little chilly, but the scenery, oh my gosh, it is so amazing. You cannot find a better place to visit during the summer but Iceland. And when we were there, everybody was so helpful and everything. But one thing that I did notice was that Iceland being the way it is, it's basically a landlocked country, not a landlocked country. I think it's like an island nation, you might say, a little bigger than an island, but surrounded by water. And traditionally, I don't think it had a very diverse population, even though when we went this time, we did find a number of Muslims there. But even then, I don't think the local population is too used to seeing outsiders or people that are different than themselves. And, me as I am walking along on the streets, visibly Muslim, then again, I don't think there was any mean intent to this, but there was a lot of staring going on when, the only Muslim within like a mile radius was walking along the streets of Reykjavik, and everybody was like turning and seeing because it seemed like probably to them a very unusual sight. And I did notice that too, even with the Muslim population that is in Iceland, they were not in the main city of Iceland. And yeah, but that's the thing. When you do travel, especially to countries that are not Muslims, there is a tendency for people to stare at the only hijabi and the like fill in the blanks at the mall, at the restaurant. And again, I don't think that the people in Reykjavik meant any harm per se, but it is a little weird, to have people stare at you constantly. So I think that is the number one thing that happened to me when I was in Iceland, and I was not too bothered by it. I generally am not. It's just that this was more staring than usual. I could say that I'm used to, that people, see a hijabi come in and then people just turn and just look because it's so unusual for them. And I think the second thing, even though the first thing was something that happened more often in Reykjavik, but the second thing was definitely more traumatic. When we were on our way out from Iceland, you have to pass through airport security. And when I was going with my kids through the airport scanner. My son was chosen for a randomly selected for a pat down. And you know, even though it has become one of those running jokes that, Muslims are randomly selected, and I've been randomly selected more times than I can count. To have to happen to your kid, it does leave a sting to it. And I'm not saying that other people don't go through random checking, but the fact is, when you're Muslim, it hurts a little more because of the history post 9/11 of how often we were randomly selected. You're hoping by this time that this wouldn't happen to your kid. And I know, even though it's not just Muslims or not just brown people who go through random selection, but still, there is a certain degree of trauma associated with it. But that was not even the worst part. My kid was a little bit nervous about the whole thing, but it was a pretty straightforward process. They take a strip, and that strip, they wipe your hands, the top and the front of it, and they put it into a machine, and it turned green. There was nothing, and they let him go. Not a huge issue. But when we were almost at the departing gate, I heard my name being announced over, the PA system, and that was scary. They said that please come to the front desk, and I was like, Oosh. And before that, that was the thing. Before that, when we were checking in, they took all of our passports, ask us questions, what we were doing in Reykjavik, so on and so forth. They put like stickers on the passport, and mine had a red sticker on it when everybody else's had a green one. I didn't think much of it, and I was like, okay, fine, whatever, it doesn't matter. Must be a thing. But at that time, when I was at the check-in gate, they called up my name in the PA system, and I was like, oh gosh, what now? And at that time, I was hoping that I could talk to somebody to, fix some seating arrangement issues that we were having. But turns out I was randomly selected for a pat down at the departing gate. And again, I was like, geez Louise, man. Again, I was not the only one randomly selected, but when you're Muslim, it does have a certain trauma associated with it. So you're like, okay, I've been through this before, pretty standard procedure. They do the whole pat down, everything, it's fine. So they took me to the back, and they did the strip first. They have you brush it against your hands, top of your hands, and I think some clothing as well, your pockets and another, I think it was on my neck or something of that sort, but I can't remember. Anyway, so they took the strip and they ran it through the machine. And I kid you not, the machine turned red and it said explosive detected. And I swear to you, I'm not a woman that gets phased easily. I've been through much, and it takes a lot to make me like have a complete nervous breakdown. But at that point, I cannot stress enough, I was ready to have a full blown panic attack. I was. And I was ready to scream and yell that I don't have anything on me. I and there's thoughts that are racing through your head. Like, what did I touch? What do I have? I only bought chocolate and some salt from Iceland. What is it that I touched? And I was ready to confess to the, not confess, but to scream my innocence, that I didn't do anything. I didn't touch anything. I haven't been in contact with anybody but my family. But at that point, if I had panicked, as a Muslim woman, especially who's wearing a hijab, that would have just made things worse. And I think that's the thing a lot of people don't understand, that when something like this happens to Muslim people in particular, it does trigger something that we shouldn't have this desire to prove our innocence when we are clearly innocent, in such panic, so vehemently within our minds, or that it shouldn't, like, it should not trigger such things. So anyway, all of these things, all of these thoughts are racing through my head, and I'm panicking inside beyond all measure, beyond anything I have felt before. And they were like, "I'm sorry, ma'am, we're going to have you take off your shoes, and we're gonna do another, like, a physical pat down." So I get up, and here's the thing, at the Reykjavik airport, actually at the airport in Iceland, they don't have like separate rooms. They took us, it was just like this hall where people at the gate could see inside, and there was other people who had been selected to be randomly searched as well. They could all see me, and I could see them as well. And at that point, they're doing the whole packed down with the hands. And when the machine buzzed red, they took another strip and they had me go through like lifting up my shirt and all of these. It's pretty embarrassing. Okay. I know that airport security has to do their job, but at that point, as a Muslim woman, this is beyond panic inducing and embarrassing. And what the problem was that the machine that had put it in initially was not working. They put the new strip on a new machine, and I was finally cleared. When I was sitting there and the machine buzzed red, I had mentally in my mind prepared myself that, oh my God, that somebody was going to cuff me and I was going to be stuck in Iceland whilst they're going to have my husband and my children. They're going to be, or maybe God forbid that they're going to be detained too for a machine error. That fear still exists within a certain generation of Muslims. And I think that's the perspective I think most people don't understand or realize, those who are not Muslims especially, that this still affects us so deeply. And again, I will like highlight this, that this is not something that I'm saying that is just for the country of Iceland or the people of Iceland or at the Iceland airport. This is something that we've universally experienced. And I've traveled a lot. I've traveled to a whole number of airports, but everywhere it's the same thing, that same panic and the same hopes that you're not going to be the one randomly selected. And I think at this point, what I'm hoping for, that there has to be a way to not necessarily do away, but that this trauma needs to be addressed in a way that systems can be changed so we, as Muslims, as brown people, are not having to relive this trauma over and over again. I think I don't know how that will happen, but it definitely does have to change, because I know of way too many people who have had to go through this over and over again. And it's not fun. For us, traveling should not be a panic inducing experience, because that's what we're doing. I was on vacation. We were all on vacation, just returning home like regular people. So I hope that this perspective can shed some light on how we go through stuff. And I'll bring you more videos about, everyday Muslim experiences that I go through on a daily. And but these will just be videos, so it will not be a part of my podcast. You can catch them on my Instagram and on my YouTube page and on my Facebook page. So on my Instagram, again, I'm a Muslim podcast. On Facebook, you can search me out as I'm a Muslim and That's Okay. I'm the only one there. Same thing for YouTube. You can search me out as I'm a Muslim and That's Okay, the only YouTube channel that has that name. So I hope you guys really took away something that, broaden your horizons. So take care until next time.